Hello everyone, I am Nur Ismahani binti Muhammadiyah and I'm here with my friend Khalilatu Najah binti Sulaimi, Nuruna Suha binti Zahadi, Riha binti Huzai and Nabila Shuhaila binti Muhammad Nasri. Today, we would like to present about Chapter 8, which is Logistic and Characteristic of Modes of Transportation. Let's begin this presentation. For your information, logistic and supply chain is different. Logistic focuses on transporting goods and involves with coordination and movement of goods. Meanwhile, supply chain focuses on finished product and our customer and involves multiple facets such as operation and procurement that keep a company running smoothly. The evolution of logistics can be divided into three stages. First stage, in the 1960s and 1970s, the concept of logistics was confined to the physical distribution of goods or outbound logistics. Second stage, in the 1980s, the concept of integrated logistics management was developed. And the last stage, from the late 1980s onwards, organizations start thinking beyond the efficiency of their own logistics operations and expanded the concept of logistics to include all the firms involved. An effective physical distribution system needs careful planning. In order to plan, the objectives of the distribution system should be clearly defined. For example, an objective could be to execute all the export orders within 8 weeks of receipt of purchase order or letter of credit. There are 5 steps of planning process. The first step is customers' need and expectations. Sometimes the customer wants to buy the product off the shelf, as in the case cosmetic, confectionery, grains, vegetable oils, and FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods product. In such cases, the distribution system should be agile and prompt. Sometimes the customer is willing to wait for the product, as in the case of cars, two-wheelers, machinery, and consumer durables. These being high-value products with very competitive markets, the distribution system should also be cost-competitive and ensure the safety of the products. In either case, a different approach is required. The next step is to determine the cost at which the company can fulfill the customer's expectations. Prompt deliveries are always appreciated, but the extra costs are not. Step 3. Balancing and examination. For example, by deciding to freight two materials, the objective of speedy services to the customer is achieved, but the additional cost could be exorbitant. Or deciding to increase the frequency of replenishment of stocks at the warehouse may make the response to the customer's demand agile, but will burden the product with additional costs. Hence, this step involves an examination of the entire distribution system to identify the locations where the goods can be made available at a reasonable cost. Step 4. Assessment of the competitor's quality of service. Keeping an eye on the best practices adopted by competitors can help the organization to redefine its distribution strategy. And the last step is regular evolution of physical distribution system. The system should always be in line with the available technology. For example, the use of electronic data interchange (EDI) or radio frequency identification (RFID) system can make the tracking of cargo on high seas or elsewhere possible. The physical distribution system should be flexible enough to adopt the new technology. By that, I end my presentation. Let's continue this presentation with my friend Khalilatu Najah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Khalilatu Najah. Will present benefits of an efficient logistics systems. First, increase the operational efficiency. It is able to utilize resources optimally so that raw materials, components, and sub-assemblies are bound, as well as finished goods are delivered in the right time, right place, right quantity. This will help the supply chain more responsive according to the market demand, changing at minimum cost and times. And operational efficiency can minimize risk of mistake and damage or losses. When the operation is efficient, then the company can meet market demand and at the same time offer good service and better service to the customers. Secondly, channelizations of resources. When designing a logistics system, the company can evaluate the value of service to customer, which is how much the customers are agree and willing to pay the efficiency of logistics systems. This is about availability of vans. For example, we can see that the frequency of GNT Express and Ninja van entering our residential areas to deliver the parcels, especially during Lazada sales and Shopee sales. So we can see that customer will choose which one brand of courier that can provide better service to deliver their items more faster, low risk. They are willing to pay at certain price. The probability of these vans is depending on each route where when there is higher demand for deliver the item, more profitable. The logistic helped in making optimal use of available resources. Thirdly, improve the customer service. More efficient logistics system, it can provide better customer service. What is it? It's about fast delivery, which is the delivery is on time. This is one of the vital things, and this will lead to more satisfied customer when the company successfully deliver item within the stipulated time frame without defects, breakage, and mistakes. More fast delivery, more customer satisfied, and the parcel is come without defects, breakage, and mistakes. Then company can provide personalized service and communicates with the customer clearly and directly. So this will increase the customer enjoyment and satisfied. Lastly is about inventory control. An efficient logistics system makes the inventory under control. We can see that a good and efficient logistics system was making the company manage to have the inventory of finished goods. This is where they no need to keep the inventory for a long period. So all the inventory is new and can maintain the quality of goods. And all the inventory is up to date. So the logistics system will help company adjust inventory precisely according to customer demands. Other than that, they can beat the other competitors. And lastly, it can provide company can provide a variety of value-added service, such as customization, assembly, packaging, and transportation, and others. Thank you. And the other parts we present to the next presenter.
Hello, I am Nuruna Suha, the next presenter. So, I will talk about the concept of marketing logistics system. Okay, firstly, we will take a look on the concept of logistic. What is logistic? Logistic refers to the overall process of managing how resources are accurate, stored, and transported to their final destination. Logistic management involves identifying prospective distributors and suppliers and also determining their effectiveness and accessibility. Logistic managers are referred to as logisticians. Next, what is the goal of the logistic system? The goal of the logistic system is to meet customer demands while still making a satisfactory profit. In simple terms, the goal of logistic management is to have the right amount of a resource or input at the right time, getting it to the appropriate location in proper condition, and delivering it to the correct internal or external customer. For example, in the natural gas industry, logistics involve managing the pipelines, trucks, storage facilities, and distribution centers that handle oil as it is transformed along the supply chain. An efficient supply chain and effective logistical procedures are essential to reduce costs and to maintain and increase efficiency. Poor logistics lead to the untimely deliveries, failure to meet the needs of clients, and ultimately causes the business to suffer. Logistics is now used widely in the business sector, especially by companies in the manufacturing sectors, to refer to how resources are handled and moved along the supply chain. Therefore, marketing logistics involve planning, delivering, and controlling the flow of physical goods, marketing materials, and information from the producer to the market. So, what I can conclude from the concept of logistics is, logistics system is a supply chain management component that is used to meet customer demands through the planning, control, and implementation of the effective movement and storage of related information, goods, and services from origin to destination. Logistic management helps companies to reduce expenses and improve customer service. Next, logistic process. To set up an effective logistic system, it needs to have a step to achieve it. So, this is the steps that involve in setting up an effective logistic system. Planning. This is the first step towards an effective logistic system. Logistic planning is gathering information and putting structures in place to make sure your logistic function can achieve the three rights in the future, in an ongoing fashion. More importantly, it seeks to make certain you have plans in place to deal with disruption to your supply and transport resources. As linear logistic practices become the norm, variation and disruption are becoming commonplace. A proper logistic plan will be respond to disruption in order to keep production moving even in adverse conditions. The goal of logistic planning is to ensure logistic services are extended to your company or client at sufficient service levels at the lowest or most efficient cost. Implementing. This is the second step of an effective logistic system. Implementation of a logistic plan is a group process where different agencies and people located in different geographical locations have to coordinate their activities with each other. Implementation also be the key to develop a successful logistic strategy is how it is to be implemented across the organization. The plan for implementation will include development or configuration of an information system, introduction of new policies and procedures, and the development of a change management plan. The third step of an effective logistic system is controlling the flow of goods. The timely arrival of cargo at destination is very important. Sometimes, if the goods arrive too early, they incur demurrage on ports or warehouse, or else they simply perish. On the other hand, if the goods arrive late, it leads to customer dissatisfaction and loss of opportunity. Therefore, an effective logistic system ensures the timely and safe delivery of goods at the most economical cost. This can be achieved only through keeping a tight control of the passage of goods from the point of origin to destination. Logistic control system involves setting goals and standards for performance, measuring performance, and taking corrective actions. Various methods such as productivity ratios, Flexible budgets, standards, contour charts, and audits can be used to measure the performance of logistic activities. Control system should assume possible future conditions in order to plan for, respond, and to guide future decisions. That's all from me, and I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Nurul Nasuha. Now, I am going to continue this presentation. Hi everyone, my name is Riha binti Huzai. The part that will be covered by me is critical elements of a logistic system. In logistic system, there are critical elements that decide the whole structure of logistic system of an organization. There are 6 critical elements of logistic system. The first element is nature of the product. The product itself is one of the critical elements. This is because the type of product determines how the product is going to be packed. The packaging for liquid product and solid product will be different. The packaging for the fresh fruits and vegetables also going to be different as it requires low temperature to make sure it is still fresh when it arrives to the destination. The logistic system also going to be slightly different. The other thing that must be considered when choosing the transportation for the product is the value and volume of the product. For example, product that is low value and high in volume are usually being transported through sea. The next element is the location of manufacturing plant. Normally, the manufacturing plant will be close to the market or source of the raw materials. There are some other countries where located the manufacturing plant at the location where they have government subsidies. As the time passes by, the production of the product are no longer only for the domestic use, but also to be exported. Therefore, it is more convenient to make sure that the manufacturing plant is near the airport or seaport. Nowadays, there are some countries that consciously developing free trade zones. This strategy helps to improve the logistics system and provide better service to the overseas customer. The third element is availability of the infrastructure. Best infrastructure help a country to have a better economy. This can be seen by the success of Chinese industry in exporting their product. The infrastructure that helps them to improve are good roads, railways, air transport, and inland waterway system. Good road condition helps speedy movement of the cargo, and good port facilities with suitable material handling system help the cargo move without wastage of time. The fourth element is availability of different modes of transportation. Containerization has revolutionized the concept of multimodal transport. The various of transportation mode helps in remaining the freshness of the product and also help it arrives on time. The absence of various mode of transportation for a country might the weakness of the country's logistics system in exporting. The efficiency of logistics system of a country might be low as there might be delay in transporting a cargo. The next element is dealer and distribution network. Both of them are the vital link between manufacturer and a customer. A customer prefers products that are available next door. An extensive network of dealers and distributors make it possible for a company to reach wider customers. A distributor who is willing to keep adequate stocks of the product make the logistics system more effective. The last element is government policies. The logistics system need to be designed to confirm the policies of the government of the exporting country as well as the importing countries. Government policies related to sales tax, excise duty, octroi, mode VAT, and many more. In international business, many developed countries offer access to the product of developing countries under a generalized system of preference, which is GSP. This helps the exporter to enjoy the benefits of lower or zero import duty if their product have reached the host country and have been kept in customs bonded warehouse where they can be cleared without any delays. That's all from me. Now, I will pass the presentation to the last presenter. Thank you.
Thank you to presenter. Hi, my name is Nabila. I will present International Transport System. Transportation is the movement of product from one location to another, as it makes its way from the beginning of the supply chain to the customer's hands. Transportation plays a key role in every supply chain because products are rarely produced and consumed in the same location. Transportation is also a necessary part of logistics. In case of international business where the supplier of the goods and their customers are situated far apart, transportation is essential to maintain life in the entire supply chain. Transportation does not just provide movement to the goods, but a high-quality transport system adds value to the goods. An efficient transport system keeps the assembly lines of manufacturing companies continuously fed with raw materials, spare parts, and components. Therefore, the choice of mode of transportation is a strategic decision for anybody involved in international business. Due to technological advancement, a variety of options are available for transporting the goods. A single-mode transportation is not enough for the speedy and efficient movement of cargo. In such a case, the cargo has to use multiple modes of transportation. Some of the popular modes of transportation are as follows. Air transport. Their speed. Modern commercial aircraft travel at high speeds, but the average speed of the journey between one airport to another is somewhat less than flying speed due to low speeds during taxiing on the runway and the ascent and descent of the aircraft. In addition to this, there is cooling off period up to 72 hours before the cargo is loaded on board the aircraft. This period is mandatory at many airports across the world due to terrorist threat of planting bombs and detonators in the air cargo. The cooling off period is expected to defuse explosive device, after which the cargo is considered safe for stacking on board the aircraft. However, air service depends on various factors, such as mechanical breakdowns, weather conditions, traffic congestion at the airport. Ocean transport. Over the centuries, sea routes are being used for transportation of cargo from one continent or country to country. Sea routes are used for carrying bulk commodities such as thermal, fertilizers, coal, oils, grain. Meanwhile, liquid cargo such as crude oil, ammonia, acids. The advantage: the ability of a ship to carry a very large volume of cargo. Technology has big ships to travel faster than ever before. Next, the increased efficiency at various ports translates into fast turnaround time for the ships. From loss and damage from sea transport is low as compared to other modes of transport. Information technology also helps trace and track services for the cargo ships, due to which a shipper can closely monitor the cargo during transit. Disadvantage: the higher percentage of losses to high-volume cargo, and the cost of packaging of sea cargo is high due to the possibility of damage during loading and unloading operations at the port. The insurance premium for sea cargo is also higher than other modes of transportation, due to longer trip time and longer transit time in warehouses. The cost of carrying the inventory is also high. Rail transport, suitable for carrying raw materials and bulk commodities. Slow speed and the shorter distance traveled by a railway wagon is due to the time spent in loading and unloading operations. Disadvantage: railways are not always the cheapest. The cargo has to be delivered to and collected from railway station, which needs an additional road transport facility. Additional material handling is required during transportation by railways, and this will become expensive. And various formalities and approvals are needed to get a railway siding, which is not always easy and is time consuming as also trying for an enterprise. Road transport, which is semi-finished, finished products of medium, small sizes and weight, are suitable for transportations by truck. Door-to-door, which is sending goods by trucks, is the door-to-door services provided. And the cargo is loaded at the point of origin, it is unloaded directly at the destination. This will save time and money and prevents damage resulting from the repeated handling of cargo. Exclusive contract, which is trucks can be hired on exclusive contract by shippers for their dedicated service. Consignments, which is offer fast and dependable service for small consignments. And shipper needs only 10 to 12 tons of cargo to fill the truck. Inland waterways, shipper must locate it on the waterway or has to transport the cargo at the waterhead by other means of transport. The average speed of water service, which is 6 to 10 km per hour, which is among the lowest. This speed further reduced if the ship travels against the direction of water flow. And weather also affects the water service. For example, during monsoon season, when the rivers are flooded, it is not safe. Our ports are also not as well equipped in terms of material handling equipment and other infrastructure as seaports. Selecting the right mode of transportation. It is a challenge for every logistic manager to decide the most suitable mode of transportation. The manager has to ensure that the cargo reaches their destination safely at the most economical cost possible without any delays in the transit. The variables which make the difference are the nature of the product, urgency or geographical locations of buyer and seller, proximity to a port or an international airport, and the cost of transportation. Logistic managers use the total cost approach to coordinate logistic, material management, and physical distribution in a cost-effective manner. That's all from me and my group. Thank you.